Good morning, students. Welcome back. Today in this video tutorial I'll discuss regarding the random function. Random function, every programming language supports this random function. Actually, this random function will be used to generate the random values. Therefore, you should know first of all what is the random number, and if random function will be used, what number will generate. So random number does not mean a different number every time. Random number doesn't mean a different number every time. It means that when you will use the random function, whenever you will execute the program based on random function, every time it will produce the different set of numbers, because it is the any number will be generated through the random function. So there is no any logic related to that. Therefore, the next line is mentioned as random means something that cannot be predicted logically. So there is no any logic behind the random function, that the random function will be used to generate the following set of values. It is not like that. Random function will be used to generate any value within the range whichever we will specify through the function. So Python supports 3 functions to produce the random number, and these 3 functions are using the randint function. The first function to produce the random number in NumPy array is using the randint function, the first one. Second one is using the randn function, and third one is using the rand function. So these 3 functions will be used to produce the random number. So we will see one by one what is the different specification for these 3 functions. So first of all, we will see about the randint function. What for this function? It is used to produce the random number. As the name suggests, randint, that means this particular function will return the random integer number. Which type of number? Random number, of course, but that number, random number, will be the integer number. Therefore, it is defined as it creates a NumPy array, because this is the function of array. So it will return the array. That is why it is mentioned as it returns a NumPy array filled with random integers of the size specified. That means whatever size you will specify within this particular function, it will return that function as the NumPy array, and all the random integer will be returned. So how to write this randint function? Just see. When we will specify the randint function, it has the following 4 parameters. The first parameter which we will be specified as low. Low means the lower limit value. That is, it is the lower limit of the range. It is inclusive. This particular line means when we will use the randint function, we will specify first the lower limit. Means from where the random number will generate. What will be the range? The range will be specified as the lower as well as the higher limit, or you can say the upper limit. So the lower limit, this is the lower limit of the range, and it is inclusive. Means when we will specify the lower limit, that value will be included in the random number, which when it will produce the random value. The second parameter is the upper limit through the high parameter. That is, high is the upper limit of the range, and this particular range of value will be exclusive. That is, it means that it will not included in that range. The third parameter is the size. Size means it decides the shape of an array. That means if you want to produce the size as 4, 3, that is, if you want to produce the array as 4, 3, that is the 4 rows and 3 columns, then you will specify inside the size. Clear? And the fourth parameter is the dtype. Dtype is used to specify the data type of the value to be stored in the array to be created. That means if you will specify dtype equal to int, it will produce the integer random value. But as I have told you earlier, randint is used to specify the random integer number. So if you will not specify dtype, then also it will produce the random integer. So you have to take care what you need to specify as an argument of the randint or as a parameter of the randint, this 4 value. Clear? Lower, higher, size, dtype. Okay. The second function is the rand_n function. It is also used to produce the random number. Okay. And it is also used to create an array of the given shape and return the random values from a uniform distribution over 0 and 1. It means it will produce the random number between 0 and 1. Okay. So what is the difference between then randint and rand_n? Just see here. It takes only one parameter. The earlier function, the randint function, takes how many parameters? We discussed 4 parameters there. That means the randint function takes 4 parameters. But this rand_n function, that is the second one, will receive only one parameter as an input. And that parameter will be the size. And if no parameter is mentioned, that is, if you have not specified any parameter, that means if you have not written anything inside the bracket of the rand_n, then it returns the single floating point number as an output. That means if you will not specify anything in the bracket when you will use this function, then it will return single floating point number. That means this particular function will return the floating array, means the floating point, or you can say the decimal type of value will be returned. But the first function randint generate the integer random number, and this rand_n will generate the floating point array. When it will return the array? When you will specify the size. And if you will not specify the size, if you will not specify any parameter here, then it will return the single number. And that number will be of which type? Float type. That should be taken care of. It produces the floating number both in positive and negative. That means when you will use the rand_n function, it will return the float value positive as well as the negative. Clear? Third random function is only the rand, R-A-N-D, rand. This function is also used to return an array of size mentioned. Whatever size you will specify, that very shape it will return the random number. And which all number? Between 0 and 1. Because the second one rand_n and the third one rand function doesn't receive any parameter other than size. That means it receives only one parameter, or that parameter will be the size. So if you will not specify the size of the returned array, it will return the same way as a single floating point number as we seen in the second rand_n function. That means no size is specified, it returns the single floating point number. Clear? And the difference between rand and rand_n function is that it produces the floating point number only in positive. That means the array which will produce through the rand function will get only the positive floating value. Positive float type of value will return by the rand function. But in the previous case, in the rand_n function, it also returns the float value, but that value will be positive as well as negative. So this is the difference between rand and rand_n function. And what is the difference between rand and rand_int function? As the name implies, rand_int function will generate only the integer random value, but rand function will generate the floating value. So we will move to the next topic regarding this random function programmatically. So let us see how to use the random function programmatically. So first function is rand_int function, which we had discussed through the slide. So rand_int function generates the random integer array based on the low and the high values. Low and the high value means the lower limit of values and the higher limit of values will be included. So which value will come? That is not any logic. Any value will be coming between the range of the value. Any value, any random value will generate. That is the purpose of the rand_int function. And the returned array will be of integer number, integer random number. So the program starts from here. Import numpy as np, and I had created one rand_int variable which stores the random value starting with 0 till the last value is 100, and the size is specified as 5. That is the rand_int function we have used here, and the parameter I had provided here as 100 and size equal to 5. 100 is what? It is the higher limit. Lower limit is, by default, it will start with 0. So 0 is the lower one, 100 is the upper limit, and in between any number will return. Any number will return. And how many number? The 5. Size is specified as 5. That means the 5 total elements in the array will be 5. So you have to see how I have used the rand_int function. np.random.randint, because random is actually the name of the module of numpy. So first module numpy, which is specified as name is space np, and then random value, and this rand_int function is the function of random. So I have to write in this way. Whenever you will use the random function will be used in this way only, np.random.randint, and in this argument you have to specify the lower higher limit as well as the size. So as a comment 1, I have written generate 5 random integer from 0 to 100. So in the print function, 5 random numbers between 0 to 100 will return. Rand_int will store any 5 random integer number. The second array will store the random number, the same rand_int function, but this time it is specified the lower limit 5, upper limit 10. That means the low value is 5, the high parameter value is 10. So within this range, 5 to 10, 5 will be inclusive, 10 will not be included. So any number, it doesn't mean that it will start with 5 or end with 9. Doesn't mean. It means that any number between 5 to 10, size equal to 2 means any two number. Any two random number will return through this particular function. The third randint2 variable will store the random number. The lower will start with 10. The higher limit or the high limit is 90 and the size equal to 4, 5. Here size equal to 4, 5 means the 4 rows and 5 columns. That means it will return the 2D array. It will return the 2D array. So 4 rows and 5 columns. So 10 and 19, whatever the range of value will be there, that any random value will generate between 10 to 90 with 4 rows and 5 columns. So here the same way the print string has given the statement as 2D array of size 4 and 5 columns between 10 to 90. The third function, the same function I have used with the third type of statement as np.random randint 50, 75, 2, 2. It means lower limit 50, higher limit 75 and 2 rows, 2 column. That means it will return the square matrix, 2 rows and 2 columns, lower limit 50, higher limit 75. Within this range, any type of value will return. So here the print statement will be getting the same way, 2 into 2 2D array in the range 50 to 75. Okay, so first of all we will execute this program and we will see, we will be getting how many outputs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Clear? So we will see how this output will come. Just look at here in the output. Look at here, 5 random number between 0 to 100. It means that 0 to 100, any 5 value will be generated. Any 5 value will generate through this. 46, 25, 26, 9 and 88. This number is in the range of 0 to 100. And total how many? What is the size of that? The size was 5. That means total 5 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first output you have got, the first print statement. The second print statement is given as 2 random number between 5 to 10. 5 to 10, any 2 random number is 6 and 5. Yes, 6 and 5. 10 will not be included. So you always remember the higher limit in randint function is not going to include. The lower limit will include. That is why it may come, the output may come as 5. Clear? The third print as between 10 to 90. The size is between 10 to 90. As you can see here, 10, 90. So in the range of 10 to 90, whichever number will fall, that will come with 4 rows and 5 columns. Just look at here, 4 rows, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 10 to 90, just look at here, no any other value is out of this very range. You can check it thoroughly. Clear? The fourth print is used for 50 to 75 and 2 by 2. So 2D array of size 2 into 2 means 2 by 2 with value in the range of 50 to 75. So 50 to 70, all the 4 elements of the array will be in the range of 50 to 75. 2 by 2, 2 rows, 2 columns. So in this way you will be using the randint function, and again you will run the program, then again you will be getting the different set of value. Just look at here, another set of value has returned. So random function is used to generate the random number, and whenever you will execute the random functions program, again and again it will produce the different set of values. This should be clear in your mind. In the same program, I have given the second function of random, which is rand_n function. So let me do this as a comment line, the previous one which we had discussed, and the third line which I have made it comment 1, we have to remove the comment so that it will make as an executable one, so that you don't get confused between the functions. So rand_n function, just look at here what is mentioned here. This function returns the random floating array, positive and negative value between 0 and 1. So whatever number will generate through the rand_n function, it will always return the number within the range of 0 and 1. And rand_n function will produce positive as well as negative. So first thing between 0 and 1, second thing is positive as well as negative, and third, which is very important, is it will return only and only the floating type of value. That means the float value will get returned through the rand_n function. So I have used here how rand_n one variable I have taken np.random.rand_n. No parameter is specified. That time I had told if you will not specify any parameter, that means it receives only one parameter, and that too one parameter will be the size. What we will specify within this rand_n function? Only this size as a parameter. And if you will skip this size parameter, then it will return only the single floating point value. Single floating point value means only the single value, one value will return, because size is not specified. So by default it will return the single value. And what will be the type of that very value? Of course it will be the float value, decimal value will get returned. So the first print will get the single value, floating point value, single value, and the second print will get what? Just look at here in the second line of the program, np.random rand_n 4, 5. Only one argument I have given. This is not the low limit and higher limit. This is not the rand_int function. It is the rand_n function, and it receives only the one parameter which I had shown through the slide. So you should be clear that rand_n as well as rand will get only one parameter, and that will be the size. So here I have provided 4, 5 as an argument. It means that size taken as 4 rows and 5 columns. And which all value will come as an output? Random value? Yes, 0 and 1. Between 0 and 1, any set of values. But that too positive as well as negative. Any positive negative value will return. So the print statement is here, floating array of 4 rows and 5 columns between 0 and 1, positive and negative, and rand_n will be the variable. So just look at the output. Two output you will be getting. One will be the single value, floating point value, and second one will be the floating value, which will be the 4 rows and 5. That means the floating array will return through this rand_1 variable. Clear? So just I will execute it and you check the output. Just see here. Floating single value return as size not specified. As size not specified. It means that floating single value returns as size not specified. This is the first print. Just look at here. Our program starts from here. This is the first print. Rand_n will receive. Rand_n stores no parameter specified through the rand_n function. So it will receive or return only the single floating point value. So when you will see here, you will see how the output is coming. Only the single value is returning. Look at here, 0.2680. This is the floating point single value. Clear? and the second one will have the output for 4 rows and 5 columns, and between 0 and 1 positive as well as negative. You can see here between positive and negative, no any value. This is the first element that is the first column. This will be considered as the first column, then second column, then third column, fourth, 5. Total altogether 5 columns and 4 rows. This complete is the first row, this one is the second row, third row and the fourth row. And look at the value, random value between 0 and 1, the value is here, as well as the positive, here positive value, then negative, positive, negative, negative, positive. Combination of negative as well as the positive value gets returned between 0 and 1. And here also the first output will get the 0.2, means between 0 and 1 any floating value is returning through the rand_n function. So this is the second random function. Now I will move to the third, which is the last random function, and it is the rand function. Just look at here, make it executable one so that you can focus only the main one which I am going to discuss. Yes, the third one is the rand function. So rand function returns the random floating array, all positive between 0 and 1. The previous one, in this case, in the case of rand_n function, we have seen that positive as well as negative value will get returned between 0 and 1. And rand function will return the value only positive, and that too the floating value. So rand function, how to use: np.random.rand, no parameter. Here also it will receive only one parameter, that is the size. If you will not give that also, that parameter also size, that means no parameter, then it will return only the single floating point value, as in the case of rand_n function, the same behavior. Clear? So only single output you will be getting through this print command. The next statement is written as np.random rand 4, 5. 4 means the number of rows 4, 5 number of columns, as well as all value will be the positive value. All value will be the positive one. Clear? So how to display the things? You just make the program executable and just look at here what output is coming. Random single floating value as no parameter, 0.121. Between 0 and 1 any value, so this value has come as an output. And the second print has got 4 rows and 5 columns, all positive. So 4 rows and 5 columns, all positive. Just look at here, in the previous case, in the case of rand_n function, you have got the positive as well as the negative value, and here in this case you have got all the values, 4 rows and 5 elements are of only the positive value, and all the values are in the range of between 0 to 1, all positive. So in that way you will be using the 3 functions of random. Clear? So in that way we will have to use the random function, all 3, whether it is the randint to generate the random function, integer random value, rand_n to produce the positive as well as negative floating point value, and simple the rand function to produce the random value, all floating as well as all positive. And the most important thing is here, as we have to not specify the lower value as well as higher limit, so it will produce the random value between 0 and 1. This is the very important thing regarding rand_n and rand function. Both the function will return the value as the value between 0 and 1. So this is regarding the randint, randn and rand function programmatically. Next we will move the next program, which is I function. I function of NumPy. What is the purpose of I function? Just look at here. Whatever comment line is written, you have to note down in the copy as the definition of that particular function. So numpy.I function returns a 2D array having ones on the diagonal and zeros elsewhere. What does it mean? It means that the I function will return the two-dimensional array, 2D array, rows as well as column, and ones will be on the diagonal one. Means ones will appear on the diagonal and 0 will be elsewhere. Means 1 will appear as a diagonal element and the rest of the place the 0 will return. So how to write the I function? numpy.I, the syntax is here. numpy.I r comma c equal to none, k equal to 0, d type equal to 4. The float. How many arguments? For 1 argument, 2 argument, 3 argument and 4th argument. Whereas the first argument will be r. What is r? Here r is the number of rows. Total number of rows you will specify here through the I function using the r. The first argument will be the rows. Second argument c will be the number of the column and it is optional. Optional, you can skip also. That means if you will not write the value of c or if you will not write the column value, here it is mentioned if none. If you will not provide, then default to r. It means if you will not provide the column value, then whatever the number of rows, that very value will be the number of columns too. If you will specify r value as 3, then column value will also be 3. Means that very matrix will return 3 by 3. D type is the data type. D type is what? The data type and is optional. This data type is also optional and default is float. Default float. I have written here. K is also optional. K is also optional. If 0 means if the value of k is 0, if the value of k is 0, it refers to main diagonal. And positive value refers to the upper diagonal and negative value will be the lower diagonal. This line k0, k1, k minus 1, if you will write, then upper diagonal, lower diagonal, 1 will return. That we will see in the program. Here it will not be clear to you very much. So the thing which you need to remember is C is optional, K is optional, D type is optional. So what is must? Must is the value of the R. So you can either provide all 4 arguments or 3 arguments or 2 arguments or 1 argument. One argument is must and that one argument will be always the number of rows. R is the number of rows. So we will see through programmatically how the I function will be used. So just look at here. I have created the array with the name AR np.I3. So just look at here how many argument is there. I inside the bracket 3. Only 1 argument. That means this is the value of R. and the value of C is not provided, that means the column value will also be 3. And by default, what data type will be there for this I function? I function will return the array with all the floating point value by default. So here 3 by 3 matrix will return. That means 3 rows and 3 column. Okay. And what value will return? It is not mentioned. Yes, it is mentioned, because I function will have the values ones on the diagonal and zeros elsewhere. This is the very important line regarding the function I. No other value except 1 and 0 will return through I function. That is 1 and 0 will only return. Then where will the 1 return? The 1 value will return diagonally, because it is the square matrix is returned through this. 3 is specified as 3 rows and 3 columns. So all the elements, diagonal elements, will get the value as ones by default. Float value will return, and data by default, and data type of return array will be a float one. So when you will take the printout for this AR, you will get how many elements? 9 elements. 3 into 3, 9. 3 rows, 3 columns. And by default, the main diagonal as ones. This is the very important line. The main diagonal one will be the ones. So when you will take the printout for this AR, you will be getting the 3 by 3 matrix. Diagonally 1 will appear. Just look at this. You have to pay attention only for these two print. Rest, when I will make you understand, then it will be clear to you. Just I want to execute this. Check the output for the first one. Let me again run the program. Yes. Look at here, the first two output. You have to ignore this one, the down one. Only the 2 1. This is 3 into 3 matrix. Default, by default, main diagonal as 1. You just check it here. First column, second column, third column. That is a 3 column. First row, second row, third row. 3 rows, 3 column. Is it clear? Now the main diagonal, this 1 1 1, diagonally 1 is appearing. Rest 0. Diagonal 1, rest 0. And all the value 1.0.0. It means that it is the floating point array. That means all value is of float type. Clear? By default. So 3 into 3 matrix return with the value as all float, main diagonal ones. Next is AR equal to np.i5. What is 5? 5 means 5 rows, 5 column. 5 into 5. 5 rows, 5 column with main diagonal as ones. Here we have specified 2 argument. One is the row, another one is the value of k. Look at here. K is 0 refers to main diagonal. So here also the same type of output you will be getting. Only the number of columns and row would be changed, and the main diagonal elements will be 1 because k equal to 0. So here I have provided k equal to 0 as the second argument, and here in np.i3 we have not provided. So by default the k value will be taken as 0. And here explicitly I have written k equal to 0. Both returns main diagonal as ones. In this case it is 5 into 5. That means the 5 rows and 5 column. And in this case it is the 3 into 3. Just look at here what print I have written. 5 into 5 matrix K equal to 0 is specified as main diagonal ones and the value of AR. So when the output will come, it will receive this very line. 5 into 5 matrix K equal to 0 is specified, and then 5 into 5 matrix will display. Next I function is the number of elements 3. Data type explicitly I have written as int. In these two case, np.i3 and np.i5 k equal to 0 will return the floating array, because the data type by default of I function is float, but explicitly in this particular statement I have written the data type as int. So integer value 1 and 0 will return, of course, but integer. And here k equal to 1. K equal to 1 means the diagonal 1 will be shifted to up. Look at here this statement. Positive value refers to the upper diagonal. Means the main diagonal ones will be shifted to up in the matrix. Okay, I will show you in the output. Let me finish the whole statement first. And here the next I function will receive 4 as the row and k equal to -1. So just look at here, when the k value will be the negative value, then it means the lower diagonal. That means k will be shifted to down to the matrix due to the negative value of k. Because the negative value is specified as the value of k, so the main diagonal ones will be shifted to down to the matrix. And in this case np.i4, 3 means 4 rows 3 columns. And where will be the ones? K is not specified, so by default the value is not going to shift neither upward nor downward or of the main diagonal. So you have to pay attention for all these. For your better understanding, everywhere I have written this print messages. Look at here, everywhere. So it won't be create any problem for getting the output. Just look at here. One by one, I will make you understand the output. First two output we had seen. 3 into 3 matrix by default main diagonal 1. Main diagonal element 1 is coming. 5 into 5 matrix k equal to 0 as main diagonal 1s. Just look at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, 5 columns, main diagonal. Just look at the diagonal elements all ones because of the k equal to 0. Next 3 into 3 matrix of integer and diagonal 1 shifted to up in the matrix. That is 3 rows, 3 columns. 1 column, 2 column, 3 column and 3 rows. And the main diagonal shifted to the up in the matrix. Why? Just look at here this one. This one main diagonal shifted to up towards the upside of the main diagonal. This one has shifted. In the previous case it was 3 ones because 3 rows 3 columns, but here only 2 ones because there is no place to shift towards the upward direction of the matrix. So the main diagonal shifted to 1. Which case? When the value of k is 1. Just look at here, 5 into 5 matrix, this one. When the value of k is 1, then the value of k is 1, then it is move the main diagonal ones to the upward sides. Next is the output for this, which you need to see very carefully. 3 data type int k equal to 2. K equal to 2 means this one. 3 rows, 3 columns and the main diagonal. 3 rows, 3 column, diagonal shifted to up. Just look at here. K equal to 2 means as you will increase the size of the k value, the diagonal will be moving towards the upper side of the main diagonal. Main diagonal is this one, and because the value of k was 2, so the 1 has shifted up here. In the previous k value was 1, so it is shifted to the main diagonal upward. Again k equal to 2, then it will move to the upward of again the main diagonal. So in this case, in this case k was 2, that is why the output has come like that. The next one, when the value of k was -1, then the main diagonal is shifted down. Look at here what I have written. The main diagonal 1 is shifted to down to the matrix due to the negative value of k, and it will come as 4 rows and 4 columns. 4 rows, 4 columns. Just look at here. 4 into 4 matrix of float, diagonal 1 shifted to down to the matrix due to the negative value of k. Just look at here. This will be the main diagonal. If it will appear like here 1, 1 and 1, when the k value will be 0, but the value of k will be -1. So the main diagonal shifted, the k1 value will be shifted down to the main diagonal. Again, when the value of k will be -2, then again it will move downwards to the main one. And the last output, as you can see here, as I43, that is 4 rows, 3 columns. No any argument mentioned. That is, the main diagonal will come as once, but 4 rows, 3 columns. Here I have specified the 3 columns and the 4 rows. In rest of the case, we had specified only the row value, but in this case we have specified row as well as column. So where will be the diagonal ones will go? Just look at here in the output. You can see here the last output. Four into 3 matrix, and the diagonal ones will shift it to here. Actually this won't be come as an output. Diagonal 1 will be shifted to up, shouldn't be coming. Just make it modification over here. 4 into 3 matrix, just only this much is required to be written. 1 will be adjusted accordingly. How it will adjust? Just look at here. Because main diagonal, when it will come, when it will be the equal number of rows and equal number of column. But here the rows and columns are the different. 4 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the column is only 3, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 1, it starts in the correct order. But where will be the next one will go? Because no any other column will be there. Therefore, the only thrice the 1 will appear as the diagonal one, but it will appear in the main one only. But why the next one is not here? Because here in the last row, why the 1 is not coming? Because only 3 column is here. That is why this type of output has come. So in this way we will be using the I function. So in the next class we will discuss about the identity function and the full function of NumPy array. Till then, bye. And one more thing, please note down everything in the copy and do execute in the system. Then only you will be getting the things. Okay, take care. Bye.